The name of the topic is benefits of using or making budgets. First of all, it helps us in planning. When we say it helps us in planning, it means that the budgetary process makes manager consider what future plans are carefully so they can make realistic targets on the basis of that. With a clear sales budget, what businesses can do, the departments of business will know how much to produce, how much to buy, how much to spend, etc. Secondly, the uh, budgeting process help us to allocate the resources. Although allocation of resources is more of economic term, but still, if we want to allocate the resources in a better way, that which department needs what number of resources, if we want to assess that how many labor will be required in some department, how many salaries should be allocated to some department, etc., etc. The budget helps us a lot because we know that this much amount we have as an income and this much amount we can spend. So it helps us always who gets what. It means what amount of resources will be allocated to which department or which person. Thirdly, budget helps us in setting the targets. When we say setting the targets, we need to realize that people are good if they are given targets. If they are not given targets, it becomes difficult for them to realize what to do actually. So what we do, we make the budgets and we give targets to people, we give aims to the people, and as a result of that, they feel more motivated. So performance of the budget holders will always be high as compared to the performance of non-budgeting budget holders. And secondly, on the basis of allocation of budgets, we can also allocate the departments what to do and what not to do. The managers can also delegate their responsibilities to the juniors on the basis of expenses and on the basis of incomes that have been allocated to those people. Budget also helps to coordinate. When we speak the term coordination, it does mean that uh, where different departments are working in different areas. For example, purchase department is working on purchasing the raw materials and the other stuff. The sales department is working on the sales. The quality department is working on the quality improvement. If we have the budget allocated to all the departments, what will happen that all the departments will be working in one direction because they know that if the budget is low, they have to buy the cheaper raw material. If the budget is high and the branding is the target, the businesses will have to buy a high quality raw material, and the production departments would have to focus more on the improvement of the quality. So this is how it goes. It helps to coordinate between the department and to work in the one direction. Once budget have been set, people will have to work effectively together if the targets are to be achieved. And then the fifth one, controlling and monitoring the business. We need to know that if we have target sets in front of us, then only it will be possible for us to remeasure the performance of the business, and we see that whether the business is going in the right direction or not. Okay, once you have made the plan, it's not possible for employees to ignore them easily because they know that they have a set plan in front of you and in front of them, and they have to work accordingly to achieve those plans, to achieve those targets. What businesses does, business give them directions, businesses give them targets and checks whether those targets are being achieved or not. Businesses hire control teams and they monitor whether the performance of the budget holders and the departments there, whether the performance is going into the direction or not. For example, you have given them a target. You have made the budget that business is going to do $12 million sales this year. So every end of the month, you can check, you can measure the performance whether the sales department is doing $1 million sales or not. Then what we can do, we can measure and assess the performance too. What is this measurement and assessment of performance? Once the budget period ends, after the end of every financial year, we perform an analysis that is called variance analysis to see whether the planned things are working according to the direction or not. For example, if we have planned that we are going to do 12 million sales this year, we will check after the year whether we have done the 12 million sales or not. We will compare the budgeted figures with the actual figures to identify that how much variance has been occurred. For example, if you planned the 12 million sales and the actual sales were 14 million, this is very good. It means that positive variance has been occurred. And if you favorable variance has been occurred, and if you plan that sales will be 12 million and by the end of year you calculate that sales are only 8 million or 7 million, it means the negative variance is there and it's unfavorable for the businesses. So we can measure the performance according to that. This was the benefits of budget.